If you ever decide to go on the streets of Melbourne, oh, the other thing is the government's also shut down the transport system to stop people getting into the city. Is blocking roads so people can't get into the city. There are police checks all around the city, stopping and blocking traffic, checking. Okay, if you're going to go shopping anywhere, you're going to go on the streets, whether in your car, going to a shops, walking somewhere, and you see a police officer, if the police officer sees you, you will need to provide papers. It's like 80 years ago, you will need to supply papers. You need to show your ID, which shows your current address. Oh, and you have certain people manning your car. It's I think limited people in your car. Just one per car. I think it is. It's getting very strict. So you can't have people from different households in one car. But you need your papers to prove your identity, like a driver's license with your address and all that sort of stuff. You need papers to prove that you're legally entitled to be out there. Like, those of all of us who are going to work, you can't go to work without a work permit issued by the government. That's law in Victoria. So if you need to travel to work, you need papers which are issued by the government. Every single person needs these papers, which you need to show, which tells you where you're working, what hours you're working, what days you work, and it's only permitted for us between what dates. So you have to have it, like, for example, from the first of October to the 14th of October, or the 8th of September to the 28th of September or something, and it's got to show you the dates. Then you have to, by law, be wearing a full face mask, which covers your nose and mouth and so forth. If you don't, you will be fined and potentially go to jail. And quite literally, as we've seen, a lot of them are being bashed. You're not allowed to even take it off for a moment. So basically, if you ever go into Melbourne or regional or metro, somewhere in metro Melbourne, anywhere, damn well make sure you don't have your mask off. From the moment you leave the door to the moment you come back into your home, make sure you're wearing that mask. People being dobbed in for not wearing it. People have been pulled over by police, and quite literally I've seen a number of cops just run over, charge where someone who wasn't wearing the mask properly. And oh my gosh, you've seen the videos, the fists, the kneeing, 5 cops on top of them. They're strictly just picking certain people, even people who got not protesting, people who are gainfully employed, even gainfully employed with all the legal papers. They've beaten them up, arrested, and after getting a massive beating, even though you got all your papers in order, the one, like I said, showing you where you work, what your hours are, and all that sort of stuff. If you don't have a mask, or if you're not wearing it properly, you will need to have your exemption forms. But 99 times out of 100, that will be irrelevant for the police officers. That won't matter a thing. They'll still arrest you, charge you, beat you up, as we've seen many times. So even if you have trouble breathing with a mask on, and I've noticed it's hard with that thing, you do feel like you're breathing in dust particles when you got that mask on, quite literally. But You need that on, otherwise you're going to get in trouble big time. You know, arrested, sent to jail, 5,000 and something dollars fine. Yeah, so you need to make sure you got your mask on, and you have to keep your 2 meter distance away from each other, from people. You have to keep 2 meters away. So if you're closer than 2 meters away, however, police are allowed to apparently get in your face, as we've seen many a times. They will come in your face, quite literally, you know. Yes, but you're not allowed to be anywhere near anybody else. You have to keep your distance. Yes, so if you're going to venture on the streets, you need proof that where you live, you're within your travel distance. You have your appropriate papers to show, issued by the government, show that you have your legal right to be there, and you're actually in there within the hours that you're supposed to be there. So, for example, if you're going to work, it shows you your start time, your stop time. Your start time, like for example, 9 o'clock to 5:30 or whatever it may be. So you're allowed a little leniency going to work and coming from work. But if you're trying to be on the streets any other time, or you're going shopping, you're only allowed to shop within a place that's within a few kilometres of your home. You cannot, I say it again, you cannot be going shopping to a place that's like 10, 15, 20 k's from your home. Otherwise, you will be, you'll be in trouble. You will be in trouble. Police are using license plate recognition. They're looking at who's in the car to make sure there's only one person in the car. Make sure your papers are together, man. Make sure you got all the right papers. And make sure you're travelling at the right times. And make sure, whether you got an exemption or not, you need a mask on outside in public. Otherwise, you will be in trouble by the police. Majority of cases, 99 times out of 100, even if you got an exemption, the police don't accept it. It's not valid, according to many police officers. They don't consider it valid. Victoria, we need help.